Well, joining me in the studio for an online exclusive as a preview for the upcoming fight this Saturday at the Italian Club, I'm joined by one of the big men, literally, of mixed martial arts, and two of the promoters who are bringing mixed martial arts to Western Australia in a big way. But firstly, look, so Palelei, mate, thanks very much for joining us today. I've got to ask, how's preparations going? Because you are one of the big names in MMA, but if not, but you're not really a household name here in WA yet. So, I mean, is that a benefit, or is that a bit of a holdback for you as you go about your preparations for fights?
My preparation for this fight has been good. It's we just it's 2 days a week. 2 times a day, 6 days a week, and I fly a lot to Sydney and spar and that a lot as well. And just going on that household name, I'm just a normal fighter, just trying to make an earn and trying to keep fighting. The sport in Australia and sport in West Australia is getting bigger. So in the US, it's a mainstream event, especially in Japan. So it's just catching on, and a lot of people are getting more educated into the mixed martial arts, into the UFC. So it would catch on very quick, and I'm sure in the near future it'd be huge.
But are you happy to be able to fly under the grid, so to speak, with the publicity? Because you do attract publicity with some of the people you hang around with these days, and not in a bad way. I mean, you've got movie stars who follow you as a fan base. But are you happy to be able to come into Western Australia and Perth and just go about your everyday job?
Yeah, absolutely. When Grady approached me and said, "Let's, could we have you on a show?" I'm thinking of doing a show. I said, "Mate, I'll be happy to. It's Perth's my hometown, I said to Grady, mate, whatever you want to do, tell me the dates and I'll talk to my manager. We'll lock something in."
And the upcoming fight, and I'll have a chat with Grady Stewart in a moment, but the upcoming fight, it's more preparation for a potential UFC bout, isn't it?
The fights that we're just trying to get fights and keep busy. So we've got a fight in February as well, and obviously the UFC is coming to Sydney in March. So we'll just keep trying to, whether we fight in UFC doesn't bother me. We'll just keep busy, and if we have to have 5 or another 6 fights just to get all the cobwebs out, then fight in UFC. So we want to go to UFC prepared, 150%. So whatever happens, it's Grady's doing a good thing for the sport in WA and helping it, making it grow, especially bringing out the Americans to fight us. So it's a good thing, and it'll be a war on Saturday.
Yeah, no. Talk about your opponent on Saturday in a moment. But your last couple of fights, what have they gone? 28 and 16 seconds. It's are you blowing any cobwebs out?
You know what? Can you imagine if I didn't train? Do you know what I mean? And it could have went longer. So I train hard. I do use the CrossFit guys, the Southern CrossFit guys, John O'Hayden and Chan. I use them guys in Willetton. Without them, I don't think I'll get my conditioning that high. So I'm ready to go 3 rounds. We're 3 rounds or 5 rounds. So it's good. I'm prepared, and the last guy I fought was 16 seconds. So could be lucky, or
Yeah. Well, what was that, Matt? Superman Walker, your nickname's at the Hulk, but it should have been Kryptonite on that one, shouldn't it?
I think I was the Kryptonite.
Yeah, you definitely were. I see that one of your sponsors is Rapid Loss. Shouldn't it be? You should be looking for someone called Rapid Win.
Rapid Loss has been, this is my full-time job, so I get to do this as a full-time thing. So I train full-time, and Rapid Loss is one of my major sponsor. My major sponsor. So they look after us, and they fly us to Sydney, and I do TV commercials and that for them. So. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the near future. Talking to my manager Peter Nicholas, and we've got big things happening this year with movie roles and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Oh, very nice. Now we'll have a chat with Grady Stewart. You're the promoter for this particular event. This is a new fighting promotion company that's started that to build the MMA brand here in WA. Can you just tell us a little bit about your MMA promotions company?
Yeah. So it's obviously, I'm an American. You could tell by the accent.
The subtle accent. Yeah.
Well, I call Perth my home now, and I've been in the combat sports business for 20 years, and just coming through. I came and watched actually a friend of mine fought on Soa's undercard about 3-4 years ago, and I came and watched Soa fight, and I was like, wow, this guy was a beast. But went to the ground and he smashed him. Unfortunately, my friend lost, who's in. He keeps messing with me too, by the way. So,
well, I was just mate, you're because anyone who's seen Soa fight, you're brutal in the ring, but you just you're so laid back and casual and always looking for a bit of a laugh and a giggle. It's when you hang around with him now, from that first time you saw him fight, you must have thought, Jesus, how is this guy going to be able to be contained? But
that's the funny thing too is first of all, fighters you'd think are hardcore mean guys, but for the most part they're happy-go-lucky guys. This guy's exceptionally happy-go-lucky, except he's vicious in two things: the ring and any restaurant you go to. Don't pick up the check, I'll tell you now. You're better off paying his fight purse. But so we brought him over for anyway, I saw the talent, and I saw that I've been coming around to all the gyms that I could make it to here in Perth, and I saw there's some talent. And I saw the desire every time they hear you're American. They say, "Hey, do you know this guy? Do you know that guy?" And the desire and the will to learn and fight the best is here. So I said, "Well, let's bring over some of the best fighters." So we brought over we're bringing Henry Miller out of Japan, who is an American, to fight Soa. But then we bringing Dave Manzani, who's one of Wanderlei Silva's top fighters, to fight Steve Kennedy for the middleweight belt as well. Soa's fighting for the super heavyweight belt, and hopefully we'll have him back to fight for it again or defend it here shortly if that's the outcome. If he wins, which is a very real possibility. So,
but you've been involved with the sport for 20 years, and coming over to Western Australia, I mean, what sort of stage of MMA evolution is Perth and I guess Australia at? Are we?
Well, where's the States? What stage is the States in? Would you say?
Well, I would say they're the leaders. They're the mature market. No, I wouldn't say the mature market. They're the leading market. I mean, where are we along the evolution of MMA as far as embracing it goes?
Okay, that was my point. Being if the States is a 10, I would say Perth, as far as embracing, it's a 1. And it's unfortunate because they do. There is that desire and so many people come in. I work out of a few gyms here, and kids come in and they come in and they bring 5 friends, and then it grows. It's like a virus. Everybody wants to be a part of MMA. It's the fastest growing sport in the world. And Perth, I've been to a lot of cities, and Perth, the guys in Perth are tough. I mean, they're ready to fight MMA even if they haven't trained it, which is insane, but they're tough. Now we're going to train them and put them on the world level and see how they can compete. But there are some guys here that are awesome.
But you're fighting, I guess you're fighting the idea and the notion that MMA in the cage, because there's a cage there as opposed to a ring,
right?
It's a much more brutal sport. But I've watched a fair bit of MMA over the last couple of weeks, just getting used to the style and all those sort of things and understanding it. But most of them are there are tap outs. There is a lot of control within the cage. The cage, and I don't want to take anything away from it, the cage is actually more or less there for effect, isn't it?
Yeah. So actually, I was speaking to the commission, and they said your premier, is it Colin Barnett? Is that his name?
Yep.
He's not I don't know. I guess he wasn't too happy that this is taking place. But that being said, the cage as opposed to the ring, try to two guys wrestling each other and pushing each other back. You got a better chance of falling out of a ring and getting injured than you do a cage. You can't fall out of a cage. The cage is secured and locked down. So cage fighting is actually a lot safer than the ring.
Yeah.
And
but there are those images where the combatants go to ground and it's still on. In boxing, go to ground, it's like separate, let's reset, but it still goes on the ground.
Yeah.
How do you, with parents who are concerned about their kids taking up the sport, with that, that's got to be a massive hurdle for you to actually say to them, little Johnny will be fine in the ring, in the cage.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's like your sport of footy or anything. Sometimes you get tackled and you get a gut shot, you lose your win, and you get up and run anyway, and you carry on. Boxing, you get hit, and I have a boxing background. You get hit, and you're not allowed to grab the guy and clinch the guy. They pull you apart so that you can get hit again. In MMA, if you get hit and stunned, you can actually come forward to the guy, lock up, and allow yourself time to recover through wrestling or jiu-jitsu or whatever it is you want to do. So, that being said, it's actually safer than boxing.
Yeah. Oh, and I should introduce Lance Foreman from Los Angeles.
Las Vegas.
Oh, Las Vegas. Sorry, my bad. But not that Las Vegas is a bad place. I'm sure it's a wonderful place. You're over here. You're from the States. You've got a huge background in the promotion of MMA in the States and looking and identifying talent. We may be on a 1 as far as embracing MMA, but how do we rate as far as fighters go?
Well, as Grady was saying, I think there is some huge talent here. You know, we need to bring them up to speed with the training methods and the transitions and things of that nature. And you know, even like Soa, he's well known in the fight circles in Las Vegas, in the United States. You know, he's been on the international level, and I think there's probably more fans in the United States for him than there are here in his hometown. So that's the kind of thing would be, you know, nice to change, get them the exposure. And then I've been to the gyms with Grady, and you know, there is incredible talent in Perth. They just don't have the know-how yet. You know, we need to teach them, like I say, the transition their Muay Thai into the cage. And you know, that being said, MMA, you know, is quite a bit safer than boxing, even on the pro level. For, you know, a championship fight is 5 rounds, where, you know, a championship boxing match is 12 rounds. It's a big difference. The taxing on your body, the standing 8 counts. We don't have that in MMA. You get hurt, the fight's over. You know, there's more ways to win and to shut down. And training in boxing, you get hit every day, constantly in the head, constantly in the head. In MMA, it's not the case. You got to train many aspects of the game. So, you know, it is a lot safer. I know in the States we have a lot of young people, you know, that take wrestling in school who probably wouldn't have if MMA wasn't there, and keeps them off the street, turn into incredible athletes. They stay in school. You know, it's a lot of positive change for.
Yeah, and I must admit, I haven't seen too many out of condition MMA fighters in any of the videos I've been watching. They're all fairly healthy, and make me ashamed of my body.
And sportsmanship is really big to us in the MMA community, and not just in the States, but everywhere. And the respect for your opponent, and you know, it's not a brutal fight trying to hurt somebody. It's an athletic competition, and you know, the trainers and gyms take a lot of pride in that, as well as the fighters. And you know, after a fight, no matter how brutal, you'll see the two fighters embracing each other, giving one another respect, and you know, it's been a lot of all positive in the United States. So we hope to bring that here.
Yeah, no, because it's quite interesting to see the fact that there is, as far as the tallies goes, there is always a number of contests won through submission. So like, you know, just give it up, champ.
Right.
I'm on top here. So,
yeah.
So just going back to you, because it is, as you would like it, all about you. Can't shut you up sometimes. The upcoming bouts, you're up against. I'm just trying to find Henry Miller, former sumo wrestler. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was originally a sumo wrestler, and then he went into to the mixed martial arts scene. He's been in the mixed martial arts scene for many years now. He's one of the legends of the sport over in Japan. He's fought in the big arenas and with 70,000 people in Pride and stuff like that. So it'd be good. It'd be a war. So.
Because you're the stats on you and all the information I can find, you went fairly close. You were a contender for the Sydney Olympics in wrestling. Is that correct, or is that a no? Okay.
Yep.
So, but him being a sumo wrestler, how much are you going to have to change your style of fighting? Are you going to have to try and keep him at distance and go back into the boxing, the Muay Thai?
Well, the difference is I don't have to wear that thing where the sumos wear, so that's a difference. So apart from that, you know what? He's a big guy and he's got some big hands. So I'm a good wrestler. So my jiu-jitsu's, I'm a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I'll play it safe, you know. And I know he'll stand there and want to trade, but you know, like, I just want to get through this fight and, you know, keep on moving forward. You know, because it's all about the wins. It's not about how, you know, and outsmarting your opponent as well. So
because it is as you look through all the top line MMA fighters, they've got the more qualifications, I guess, than a boxer per se, because they've got the black belt in jiu-jitsu and Brazilian jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai. They do have those black belts, which imply a lot of discipline in getting to that level. So is that? I mean, does that separate really MMA from boxing as a more, I guess, disciplined and pure sport, or is it?
You know, I've been doing it for 16 years. I've, you know, I got my black belt probably in the last year and a half. So it's taken me a long time, and it's the hardest kind of form of martial arts to actually receive your black belt. So, you know, that and judo, and then you just put it all together. Just going on that, what Lance was saying about the boxing, you know, it's if you've got more of an advantage if you're a wrestler, and if you're a jiu-jitsu guy, because you can, if the guy's a boxer, you can close him down very quick and take him down. And the boxer doesn't have any tools apart from just punching if he's on his back, unless he learns the wrestling side of it as well. So
there are a lot more dimensions in MMA than just the boxing or the single standalone jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or things like that.
That's why it's called mixed martial arts. As you can see, the first couple of UFCs were no rules, kind of. They with no gloves and stuff like that. Now they've had to, because it's so big and it's governed under the Nevada Boxing Commission over in America, so that everything's all governed now. So there's rules, a lot more rules and stuff, things that you can and cannot do and stuff like that. So which is good, and. There has been report of one person that's actually died in the mixed martial arts, and that was and he went to try to fight in America, and they didn't clear him because his medical clearance. So he went to Russia and tried to fight in Russia, and it was an unsanctioned event. So so there's a lot of deaths in boxing. Is what I've heard of, and so again, it comes to continuously punching to the head. You got 12 rounds of continuous punching to the head. Eventually,
as opposed to grappling and wrestling. And
the only way you can end it in mixed martial arts is is TKO, getting knocked out, or submission. Exactly the same as kickboxing and boxing by getting knocked out. So,
well, and look, having you in here, I'd be remiss of asking: are any of your high-profile fans expected to be in the audience? So the Leonardo DiCaprios, the Maguires, any of the Hollywood A-listers, are they coming to Perth to watch you fight?
They attended my last fight in Sydney.
Yep.
When I fought on the CFC show, but we'll see.
I guess they're not really going to telecast.
Yeah. So we'll see if they come, it'll be a good thing. If they don't, then But I'm just happy and I thank Grady for having me on his show. There's more to come. There's more shows to come. I think he's going to put on another 4 or 5 shows just to help that whole thing grow. The whole Perth mixed martial arts and just trying to get him, like Lance said, get him on, just in time and stuff like with what's happening in America. So.
And mate, last question. You once offered the opportunity to Danny Green to step into the ring with you to have a sample of MMA. Is that offer still there? Because I understand he's maybe looking for something to do as he questions his next career move. You
know what? Grady knows more than me because Grady sees Danny Green's camp practically nearly every day. But I'm friends with Danny, and he kind of said something that he wanted to take on Brock Lesnar. I think it's just for a media stunt. But and then I kind of said, look, well, let's make something happen, and we'll do 3 rounds of first round boxing, second round kickboxing, and third round mixed martial arts. It's just something for fun and something to raise money for charity and that as well. So
be a good spectacle.
Yeah, it would be good.
Do you want to use this platform, invite him to a charity match? Can we do that?
It'd be great to have on Chaos. If Hulk wants to meet with Danny Green, Chaos will make it happen. So Chaos Entertainment, it's up to Hulk to invite Danny out. So that would be great.
Well, Danny Green, if you're listening, that was Grady that said that. But you know what? It'll probably be more for entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing with Danny Green and stuff like that. Just to raise some money, get a few people a few bums on the seats and raise money. Do you know what I mean? So he's a sportsman and I remember when I was in Sydney and I walked out of the lift at the casino and he was standing there with media. And then he turned and then I heard his voice going, "Mate, Hulk, when you're ready, I'm ready to go." And I turned around, it was Danny Green, and everyone got their phones out. They probably think we're going to punch on in the foyer. And then we had a laugh, and then we hopped in the lift and went upstairs and had a chat. But you know what? Danny Green has done a lot for the boxing sport.
Oh, without doubt.
Especially in Perth. So I've, not only that I'm a big fan of Danny Green in the boxing, but he's done a lot, to create. So you got to give him credibility for that. And I know that his last couple of fights is, a bit of letdowns. But you know what? That's a sport. That's a life. But you know what? He's always going to bounce back. Just like every other fighter, always going to bounce back. So
yeah. Well, he always. You never die wondering with Danny. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, guys, thanks very much. Saturday, the Italian Club, 21st of January.
It's the Italian Club in off Fitzgerald Street in Northbridge.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, everyone knows. Everyone who watches fighting knows where the Italian Club is.
All right.
Mate, so all the best.
Thank you.
Hopefully, maybe give yourself a bit of a workout. Try and stretch it out to 30 seconds. Would be good. Hopefully, I'll be there watching. And Grady and Lance, thanks very much for coming along. And let's see if next time we meet, maybe we're on Perth on level 2 of MMA radar.
Or maybe we could get like a couple media personalities in the cage for some charity. Yeah, just in case.
I'll put the feelers out to see if there's anyone who does it.
One other thing we're working on is we have a South Africa versus Australia show coming in June. We've been to South Africa and helped them train. We took some of our dog boxer stuff over there, and I put on Facebook that the Aussies want to teach the South Africans how to play rugby, and it lit up pretty good, and they're looking forward to coming over here and being in the cage. So I guess y'all have a big rivalry over.
Oh, we got a bit of a rivalry in the South Africans when you start talking about rugby. What about the Ashes?
What?
Mate, an Ashes, us versus England.
Oh yeah, we can make that happen too.
Mate, that'll get bums on seats.
Well, and it's good for the fans, and to do things on an international level is good for Perth, I believe, and definitely the levels of competition. But the South Africa versus Aussie is pretty much in the bag, so you can all look forward to that coming
in Perth.
In Perth,
mate, that'll be all right.
And
let us know.
Yeah, and that we can do the same thing. Probably not for another 6-7 months, but those are always lots of fun shows like that.
All right, good stuff. I can't see how fun would venture into MMA, but it'd be entertaining, I'd say.
Good
stuff. All right, thanks very much, guys, and so all the best on Saturday night.
Thank you. Cheers.